Welcome to 12 Leg Journey.
We're a couple of dinks in our mid-30s with 2 Yorkies and a severe case of the travel bug.
Follow along with us as we explore 48 states in 48 weeks. We'll be posting daily shorts and weekly long videos highlighting our travel within each state on Fridays.
Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
It's time for the big one. Texas, by land mass fall, so it's our 10th state. We hit double digits. Yay! All right, Mr. Texas, let's get you on here. Ooh. Get on there. Ta-da! Look at that.
That fills in the bottom of the map rather nicely down here. Yeah. The big one to get done.
Oklahoma's next.
Woohoo! Galveston Island State Park, and we figured since we haven't done a walkthrough of setting up the trailer yet, we might as well do one. So first step usually is getting out the blocks for the tires. I was just going to place here. So it stays steady. We got a locking pin for the hitch here, so unlock that and take that off. Hold that up. It'd be a lot more convenient to have the electric jacks, but we found on our other trailer that they burn up, and they like to burn up in the middle of nowhere. And so I had to drive, it was like 150 miles out of my way to go get a replacement jack because it's seized completely. So even the electric ones have a backup, so you can use a ratchet on them, but it's seized, so it wouldn't move anywhere. So I had to go buy a whole new jack and replace that in one of our parks. It was in the middle of nowhere, so we will be sticking with the manual one. And then disconnect electric and chains. It's nice having this little rack that I can just put the chains on. Then the safety brake. Then we come over here. Ooh, look at that. I got it dang near perfectly level.
Look at that.
Just pulling it.
It's like he's done it a time or two before.
Right? Then we put this in place while we're camped. Come in here, get our attachment, or the wrench for the stabilizers. I'm over the brick over here, but still.
Oh, it's not gonna go all the way down, is it?
There we go. It'll add some stabilization anyway. And then last, we hook up electricity. Got our electrical cable. And the surge protector. Cord goes into the surge protector. And put it in here. Fancy screw-in type. Adjust this in the side. These threads like to get cross-threaded pretty easily, so have to be careful.
Look at that, like a pro.
It's like we've done it a time or two. And come over here and flip on our power. It should be that one. That's basically it for getting it set up. So here's the campground that we're in at Galveston Island State Park. This is the bay side, so they're a little cheaper, but it's just one big circle of pretty tight little spots, really. But you got the bay over there, that's nice view. The RV side of the camp spots does not have a bathroom or anything. There's just a pavilion in the middle. So if you plan on staying here in a little teardrop trailer like ours, just know that you're gonna have to go hike to the bathroom. Well, apparently today is a red flag day. Heavy surf, dangerous.
It's a little chilly to go swimming anyways.
What?
Yeah.
I figured you were gonna dive right in. We got you a swimsuit.
Yeah, not for this weather.
I wanna see sea turtles.
Oh, that'd be fun. We made it to the Gulf of America.
Woohoo!
We have a special friend with us, President Trump.
He decided to come visit the Gulf of America with us.
Yay! See, he's happy to be here too. It's actually a toy that we got from a Bark Box many years ago. But because we love President Trump so much, we told the kids that they couldn't beat him up. So he's come with us to the Gulf of America. Hello.
Do we want to get the kids and let them walk on the beach? Wait, I'm free?
Free? What am I supposed to do with my freedom?
You can go in opposite direction.
That sounds like our kids.
Well, Charlie, that's not using your freedom.
It's really not. We thought you'd actually run around. Oh, there we go.
There he goes. Go find your brother.
Charlie, come here. Come on. We don't need to go in the water. Good boy.
Oh, there he goes. Ooh, even Frankie's getting the zoomies. Little old man. Oh, gotta stop for an inch. The weather's a little blustery here today at the Gulf of America, but the boys are sure having fun out here on the sand, running around.
It's been a while since I got to run around like this, so they're enjoying it.
Surprised Frankie's not done yet.
Yeah.
We've been out. Oh, there he goes.
Oh,
Frankie's done. I was gonna say, we've been out here for almost 5 minutes. It's time for Frankie to be
in Mom's arms, his favorite spot.
That's how walkies usually go with Frankie.
As it is. Hi, Charlie.
Charlie, good boy.
Good boy.
These are the tent sites. Never seen tent sites where it's just an open field where you park and then walk all your stuff over to an open field. This here is the fancier RV spot. They have the full hookup, but they also have a covered picnic table spot. For $10 a night, it wasn't worth it to have a covered picnic table for us because we're going to be hiding out in the camper for the most part anyway. But you do get, this is the Gulf of America side. The other side that we're on is the bay side. Pretty big campground. Apparently there is no off-season here. It's just always busy. The lady at the front desk was saying that even during hurricane season, when the big hurricane hit Houston, people weren't wanting to leave. They were asking if they could just stay. And they're telling everybody, well, the campground's going to be locked up and we're turning all the power and water off. So we lived here in Dallas, Texas for 16 months, getting Amber through nursing school. During this time, we lived in what was Deerfield Apartments. Now it's changed its name. It was an interesting place to live. It's on Forest Lane near Adelia in Dallas, Texas. It's not the nicest neighborhoods. There are gunshots 3 to 4 nights a week, and the apartment complexes next to us were Section 8 housing, and they would have frequent calls to the cops for domestic violence, and people would be out there yelling at each other, and then when the cops would show up, they'd all tell them to get the hell out of there and nobody wants them there. And so
I don't know why they even bothered to call them. It was really odd.
it was an interesting time in their lives.
It was indeed. Kind of creepy there because they had, so initially our neighbors right across the way were great and quiet. We didn't really see them. We all were happy. And then they had new people that moved in. But this happened more than once where the fire alarm or smoke alarm would go off and then they'd open their door and smoke would just come out of their apartment. One of the times I opened our door and looked at them like, really? And they got all spooked and quickly shut their door.
They were definitely doing pot.
Oh, at least that, yeah.
It had come through our ventilation system. Once they moved in, it started smelling skunky.
It was bad.
I was working 2 jobs while we were there. Kindred Health, which was an LTAC, which was mainly older trach and peg patients. Pretty dang depressing. And then I worked a cardiac IMCU floor at a bigger hospital. I think it had 700 or 800 beds in the hospital. It was big. And just for the walk from the parking lot to the unit I worked on, according to my phone, was about 3/4 of a mile. And if you went down the wrong hallway, you ended up on a different floor in a different building, and it was
Quite the experience you had, babe.
Yeah.
And then I was going to nursing school at a Concord Career College. I think it was about 5 minutes from our apartment.
Yeah.
So that part was nice. Everything was pretty similar. Clinicals weren't always that close. Sometimes they were, I don't know, almost an hour away, one of them. It was an interesting experience. I'm glad nursing school is done. I wouldn't ever do it again.
Well, and you were in an accelerated program. So.
That's right. I was in that 16-month program, and we really didn't have any breaks. The longest break we had was 2 weeks for Christmas, but otherwise we had a week in between each term by 8-week terms. It was pretty fast-paced.
So all you did was spend time in school and studying,
And you worked the whole time. Yeah, it was a busy time. We hardly ever saw each other. It was a difficult time in our lives, that's for sure.
And so for the most part, I had every other Sunday off, and that was just my schedule. Every once in a while, they'd call and ask if I wanted to be called off for a night, and I'd take it depending on how bad our finances were at the time. They were never good the whole time we were there. If I could squeak it by with bills that I could take the one day off, sometimes I would. Schedule was draining.
Oh, yeah. But it allowed us to do what we're doing now and being on this trip, so pluses and minuses to everything.
And it gave us the confidence to go live away from Oregon and where we grew up, so that we could figure out wherever we are.
That's right. That was our first big trip, and then we moved to Montana and did a bunch of travel nursing, and now this trip. It's all done in stages, that's for sure. Get more confidence with each road we go down.
Happy with where our life is at the moment.
I think that's good. The fire truck crew arrived on scene at the Twin Towers on September 11, 2001, before the towers collapsed due to a terrorist attack. Unfortunately, all members of the Ladder 118 crew died during the collapse and were all found together in a stairwell. The beginning of the 20th century brought the next big revolution in hearse design, the gas-powered motor. The first motorized hearse was created by New York's General Vehicle Company in 1908. The first person to use a motorized hearse during a funeral was an undertaker named H.D. Ludlow. During the 1920s, new production methods resulted in motors becoming more accessible to the public. Funeral directors began to use these gas-powered hearses as it allowed them to carry out more funerals per day due to the increased speed of the vehicle. In the 1930s, a company named Sawyers and Scarborough created a new hearse design to feature semi-convertible tops and extended rear ends. Oh, this is fancy.
All right, you gotta love the
Well, look at this casket.
That's a fancy one.
Bronze. Ooh.
The wife isn't into old cars like I am, so she doesn't think we need a full tour of all 4.
Oh, we don't. We do. We've got like actual coaches and stuff here, babe.
I know. We need all of it.
Though hearses existed in concept during the 15th century and potentially before, the term hearse didn't see widespread usage until the 17th century. Around this time, horse-drawn carriages became more accessible to everyday people,
making their uses more widespread. The carriages themselves were also designed to suit the casket placed within. Frames were used to keep the coffin from slipping, and the carriage would often feature glass panels to allow the funeral procession to view the casket as it moved.
1916 funeral bus.
Oh, that bench seat for driving doesn't look very comfy.
The 1960 Packard funeral bus was created to eliminate the need for funeral processions. The bus could carry a coffin, pallbearers, flowers, and 20 mourners. While climbing a hill in San Francisco, the weight of all the people in the back of the bus caused it to tip over, which resulted in mourners and a coffin tumbling into the street. The funeral bus was used for a short period of time due to its limitations. Photographs of loved ones taken after they died may seem morbid to modern sensibilities. But in Victorian England, they became a way of commemorating the dead and dulling the sharpness of grief. In images that are somewhat unsettling, families pose with the dead, infants appear asleep, and young ladies elegantly recline. Epidemics such as diphtheria, typhus, and cholera scarred the country, and from 1861, the bereaved Queen Victoria made mourning fashionable. Long exposures when taking photographs meant that the dead were often seen more sharply than the slightly blurred living because of their lack of movement. On some occasions, eyes would be painted onto the photograph after it was developed, which was meant to make the deceased appear more lifelike.
Oh no, she died.
I didn't quite make it, sorry.
A couple lost their young child in the 1930s and were so distraught they didn't want to go on with their lives. They decided on a plan for the husband to murder the wife, then kill himself so they could join their child in death. They approached a local mortuary and requested a coffin be built for 2 adults and 1 child. By the time the casket was finished, the couple had changed their minds and never picked up the casket. 20 years later, in the 1950s, the funeral home received a letter from the wife, who requested a refund for the money they paid for the casket. No refund was issued, and the wife was never heard from again.
And the whole old sled coffin.
It's a wintertime hearse.
Yeah, sleigh hearse. There we go.
In the 19th century, mourning etiquette was elaborate and structured, with set periods of mourning time and dress codes. The length of mourning depended on the relationship to the deceased. There were 3 stages of mourning dress: deep mourning, ordinary or second mourning, and half mourning. In deep mourning, the bereaved wore dull, lustreless black fabrics, such as crepe or wool with crepe trimmings. Ordinary mourning introduced black silks, trimmings, and ornaments, including understated jewelry. Half mourning consisted of graduations of gray, purple, and lilac, or combinations of black and white. A widow mourning for her husband was encouraged to remain in deep mourning, which included donning a full-length black veil when in public for at least 1 year. Superstitions were prevalent and influenced the mourning practices of the time. Victorians carried the deceased out of the home feet first so they didn't look back to call someone else to follow them. Curtains were closed and mirrors covered until after the funeral so that the deceased image wouldn't get trapped in a looking glass. It was thought you might be next if you saw yourself in a mirror at a house where someone had recently died. To prevent bad luck, all clocks were stopped at the time of death. Victorians turned family photographs face down to prevent family and friends from being possessed by a spirit of the dead. Although embalming parlors existed in the 19th century, the majority of post-mortem work took place at the residence of the deceased. An embalmer needed portable tables and equipment. Cooling tables were folding portable tables on which the embalmer could prepare corpses for viewing. Despite their name, many cooling tables did not have refrigeration features. Following the procedure, the embalmer would clean up the floor, cover the table with an accompanying fitted drape, and rest the head on a matching pillow. During the embalming process, the embalmer drains the blood from the circulatory system, removes gas and fluids from body cavities and soft organs, and replaces the fluids with disinfecting and preserving chemicals. The embalmer identifies a corresponding artery and vein, makes consigns, and raises them with an aneurysm hook or needle. An arterial tube directs embalming fluids into the artery. The injection of the fluid displaces the blood, and a drain tube facilitates the ejection of blood from the vein. The fluids or gases in body cavities and organs are removed by means of a separator and a hollow. Embalming was a new technique during the American Civil War that allowed families to retrieve and bury soldiers from the battlefield. In 1838, a new method for preserving human remains was introduced by injecting arsenic directly into the carotid artery. During the Civil War, embalmers soon began to profit from the death of soldiers, as up to $100 was charged per corpse. Embalmers following the Union and Confederate armies pitched tents close to the battle sites and offered soldiers the chance to prepay for their own embalming should they be killed. In January 1865, General Ulysses S. Grant withdrew embalmers' permits and ordered them behind the battle lines to stop them from affecting soldier morale. The ancient Egyptians believed death, mummification, and the afterlife were ruled by the god Anubis. The afterlife for the ancient Egyptians were an idealized version of their life on earth, including all their worldly possessions, which were buried with the corpse. Mummification was necessary for the dead person to enter the afterlife, as they could only do so with their body. The most noted mummification process was reserved for the pharaohs. The mummification process took 70 days. The internal organs were removed and placed in separate boxes or jars. The heart was left in place due to the belief it was the center of a person's being and intelligence. Next, the embalmers removed all moisture from the body through the use of a type of salt called natron. After the moisture was removed, the sunken areas of the body were filled out with linen and other materials, while false eyes were added. Once all this was complete, the mummy was placed in a sarcophagus and buried in his tomb, all ready for the afterlife.
Oh no, there's a mummy right there in the museum. Pretty cute one.
Hey. Hey.
Cremation is a process of converting a body to ash through intense heat, usually between 1400 to 1800 degrees Fahrenheit. After cremation, an adult body typically leaves behind 4 to 6 pounds of ashes. Cremation became popular in the United States in the late 1800s. Dr. Julius Lemoyne performed the first cremation in the United States in 1876 in Pennsylvania. He believed decomposing bodies in the local cemeteries were contaminating the water supply and affecting the citizens' health. Dr. Hugo Erickson founded the Cremation Association of America in 1913. Currently, cremation is the preferred method of dispositions in the United States.
Dang, Amber decided to go get a cold during our time here in Texas, so she's hacking up a storm.
I didn't do it on purpose, it just happened.
A likely story.
So rude. I don't know why I hang out with you.
The earliest evidence of urns for cremation was found in China, dating back to 7000 BC. Today, a wide variety of urns to store cremated remains can be found. Materials include marble, ceramic, bronze, brass, wood, glass, and stainless steel. The modern urns for pets were created in the early 1900s by Dr. George Angel, a veterinarian. He believed the best way to honor animals post-death was by creating vessels for their ashes that resembled those made for humans. When our toy poodle Oliver died a year and a half ago, we had him cremated and his ashes placed in an urn decorated with paw prints. Day of the Dead combines the ancient Aztec customs of celebrating ancestors with All Souls Day, a holiday that Spanish invaders brought to Mexico starting in the early 1500s. Today, the holiday is mainly celebrated in Mexico. Traditionally, people make altars, decorate grave sites, and share food and drink with family.
Well, isn't that a handsome couple?
So I was gonna say, very attractive.
Candles are lit and marigolds are placed on altars and graves to guide the spirits back. The tradition of fantasy coffins began in Ghana in the late 1950s. The tradition began when a carpenter made a fish-shaped coffin for a fisherman's funeral. The idea became popular and other carpenters began making similar coffins. These coffins are custom-made to represent the deceased's life, hobbies, and profession. Presidential funerals. The first state funeral was for William Henry Harrison in 1841. The funeral was held in the White House East Room and was modeled after royal funerals. The death of Abraham Lincoln after being shot at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C., helped establish the standard for presidential memorials. Lincoln was the first commander-in-chief to lie in state in the U.S. Capitol Rotunda, a now common practice. Thanks to the growing railroad, many Americans participated in the grieving process firsthand. Lincoln's funeral train made a 1,700-mile journey, with several stops including New York, Philadelphia, and Chicago. Nearly a century later, John F. Kennedy's funeral was the first to be broadcast on television, allowing even more Americans to participate. Since then, presidential funerals are very public affairs. Presidents began planning their funerals while still in office, giving them more of a direct say in what their final send-offs look like. However, some opted for an understated event. Harry Truman, for example, opted for a smaller service held back home in Independence, Missouri. Modern-day presidential funerals cost millions of dollars. Past presidents are buried in a number of different places, with the most notable of Arlington Cemetery as the resting place of John F. Kennedy and William Taft.
Thank you. Oh, you want in the cinnamon roll? Yeah. You need a Buc-ee's swimsuit, babe?
Oh yeah, this is what I need. And I need a cup to match it.
No, cup is too cute. Oh, they have chicken and fries.
Oh, that does look pretty good. Well, here are the swimsuits we got today at Buc-ee's. It's only February, but now we are ready. Whenever we come across a place where we want to take a swim, we'll be ready. Life is a one-time journey. It is better to stumble and trip through your own unbeaten path than to wake up one day old and gray, having never ventured from the sidewalk. Kyle Sickles.